Now this is where the things started to go in lakhs. Okay. Now I'll explain some basic terms here. What is this verify holdings? Let's see what are my holdings first. So I'm having HDFC Bank 120 shares, Infosys 60, ICICI 40. Okay. So what this verify holdings mean is you have to click on this thing, then you will be directed to a stock exchange website. Not a website, it's just a page. So in that page you'll be seeing all these shares: HDFC 120, Infosys 60, ICICI 40, like whatever shares you have. Then the stock exchange will provide you with the OTP. You have to fill that OTP in that page. Then that's how you will verify your holdings. Now why it is needed is, if you want to, let's say, sell some shares or you want to buy some shares, so each day you have to verify your holdings. Well, it is for security of your portfolio only. It makes sure no illegal transactions happen from your portfolio. So you will yourself have to verify your holdings, then only you can have any transaction from your portfolio. So it's a superb security thing. Now what is this 1D return? So this is the return that you have gained on that day only. Like we are talking about Friday 27th May 2022. So on that day I earned a profit of 5861, which is 2.10%, on 2,66,712. So this was my one day profit. If we talk about 30th May, my one day profit was this one, 7,000. So I think you probably must be able to see the difference between mutual funds and stocks. The stocks move so violently that even one day profit will hit figures like this: 5,000, 7,000, 20,000, 30,000. Currently I'm seeing these kind of figures, 20, 30,000 on my portfolio. Okay, some more basic things. As I already told you, for HDFC I have 120 shares. Like I had 120 shares at that time. Infosys 60, ICICI 40. This is the amount that I invested in HDFC Bank, that is 1,54,000, this one. And the current amount is indicated here, 1,67,000. Okay, if we see on this date, I was having 25,000 profit, and the one day profit was this one. So this is the power of stocks. Moving on. So I increased my invested amount to 3,71,000. You can see the one day profits here. You can see the total returns. Now what we see here is what percentage returns I was getting in HDFC Bank, then the percentage returns in Infosys. Likewise here. Just keep a watch on these dates, because the things will be moving abruptly here. Okay, I'll show you the next slide. Okay, now on 18th July 2022. The last screenshot we saw, that was of 9th July 2022. Now we're talking about Monday 18th July. So I increased my invested capital in that period to 6,70,000. You just see the one day return. It is 18,000. See the one day returns here, 22,000. It is a huge amount. There was a time when I used to have 20,000, the total value of my portfolio. Now some of you may think why these total returns are decreasing sometimes. Like from Monday to Thursday, how they decreased. So they decreased because of this order. Because I booked some profit here in Infosys. I sold 150 stocks of Infosys at the price of 1491.20, and the current market price is written here. So the price at which Infosys was trading at that time on 18th July 2022, that is this price, 1490.50 at this time when this screenshot was taken. Okay, but I wanted to sell Infosys at 1491.20, 150 shares. So this is that order. Now this is called a limit order. So what is a limit order? Actually, I'll tell you in brief only, because it's such a beautiful thing. I learned it from Zero the Varsity. I'll have to make a separate video on limit order only, where I'll explain everything about limit order. It's a superb thing, you'll be using it very often. Okay, what is a limit order in simple terms? Basically, it is a order where you are specifying a particular amount. Like for me, it was 1491.20, where you want to sell or buy any stock. Let's say stock is trading at 100 rupees and you want to buy it at 80 rupees. So you may put a limit order for this thing. Again, if you want to sell this same share at 120, you can put an order for this thing also. So it works for buying also, it works for selling also. Don't worry, I'll make a separate video on limit orders. So because of booking these profits, this amount, this total returns amount is changing. Now what is booking profit? Booking profit is taking those profits into your bank account. Okay, so basically what you see here is virtual profit only. This is what's shown on the screen. But when you book the profit, that's when the money became yours. That's when this 29,000 will be yours. It will be credited to your bank account. Okay, let's move on.
Chuki Beats.
Now on 3rd of August, the one day returns were 7,088, and this is also the screenshot from 3rd of August only. The one day returns were 7,088 at 9:29 am, and at 1:16 pm the returns were 7,380. You saw I booked that profit, and again I was sitting with a 33,000 profit. So this is how the stocks move. But disclaimer again, it is not as simple as it seems. Of course it's simple, but it needs some proper amount of research or learnings that have to be gained before earning these kind of profits. There is a proverb of Hindi for stock markets that goes like pehle learning fir earning. So what that means is, first the thing that comes is learning, then comes earning. Just keep this thing in your mind always. First learning, then only earning. No matter what you achieved in stock markets, you must always keep learning. Because if you become stagnant, you won't be able to grow much here. So just keep this thing in mind, that always focus on learnings. The earnings will follow, of course, but your prime focus should be learning. That's why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm simplifying everything for you. You remember somewhere in the starting of this video I told you about 23rd March? Okay, and I told you that this is the date that I'll cherish forever, or at least a decade, till another crash comes. For some people like me, it is a date to cherish forever. But for some people, this was also the day when their stock market career ended. As I told you, there are shit ton of advertisements that are going around. We see them often on YouTube. So the people who get excited seeing those ads, they enter into stock market without any experience, without any learning. Then they lose all their money and they exit the stock market forever, and their stock market career ended then and there itself. Then they'll be going around everywhere and they'll be like, oh, stock market is gambling place, it is shatta bazaar and whatnot. So these are the people who didn't focus on learning. You may also remember I wrote there once in a decade or career opportunity. So why I wrote career there is because career of some people in stock market ends with a crash like this if they don't have the proper learning. So who are those people? These are the people who book losses, who get scared when they see their portfolio deep red. So these are the people who won't overcome a crash like this. But as I told you, I'll have to make a separate video on 23rd March to explain every details about these kind of crashes and how you should be prepared. Actually, my main focus behind this channel is I just want to prepare you guys for another 23rd March that is coming, another crash that is coming. Because if you see an opportunity in that crash, if you grab that opportunity, you'll be sitting with huge profits, probably 125% as I did, maybe even more than that. So that is what I want to prepare you for. Moving on. So 7th August 2022. This is the last slide we have. You remember the time when I first started booking profits from my mutual funds? So I bought iPhone at that time. So I bought an Apple at that time. Now it was a time for change. So for a change, this time I bought bananas. Banana! Just kidding, not bananas. I bought apple again. And not just one apple, 3 of them. So what was it? This apple. So this is my recent purchase. I'm currently recording this video on this iPad Pro itself. So actually I wanted to buy an iPad 9, but the profits were huge. So I was like, why not go for Pro? I have my name engraved here. So if I give you an example, from July to August, this was the month where I booked the maximum profits of my life. The profits were 1,34,000. Okay, so from this amount I bought this iPad Pro, AirPods, pencil, and the rest of the amount was invested in my portfolio again. Now again, as I already told you, I never buy these kind of my dream gadgets by spending my principal. I always buy them by using my interest only. So my hard work pays me these kind of things, not the principal. Well, there you have it, guys. This was my 3-4 years journey that I outlined in front of you. I hope I was able to live up to that promise that I made in the starting. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I'll reply each one of them. Also comment down your suggestions for me to improve these videos, and most importantly, comment down on which topics you want me to make videos in future. So even after this video, if you can't decide whether you should start investing or not, then I really don't know how you will. Then I guess you're better off keeping your money in savings bank account or probably FD. That will give you around 5% when the inflation itself stands at 8%. For rest of you guys who have understood what I was trying to say here, I assure all of you that stock market is not more than buying a thing at margin. Let's say buying a 100 rupees thing at 75 and selling it at 125. Stock market or investing is not at all complex. It can be summed up in this definition only. And what is that definition? We have to buy a thing at bargain, as I mentioned, 100 rupees thing in 75, and we have to sell it as high as possible. That's it. Of course, a 4-year long journey can't be summed up in a single video. That's why I said it's an outline for your journey. It was an introduction to the channel. Many videos are on the way. Cheers guys who made it till here. The rest people can keep scrolling their reels and shit. So comment down your topics on which you want me to make some new videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Bye. Take care.